Welcome back to the land of K's, P's, flops, frames, and HDR. Welcome to PSVG Game Tech, our monthly-ish show about all the things game tech that you care about. It is I, the self-appointed tech guru of PSVG, Dat Ninja Dev, find me. And with me as usual is the master of the deal, the eater of hype, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Donnie Reese. How are you this morning?
The eater of hype I can get used to. That is not bad at all, Dev. I'm doing okay. Yeah. I'm flustered. A tree just fell. I woke up late. The stream didn't work. I have half a cup of coffee. It's already starting. It's already beginning.
A typical morning.
Also making his Game Tech debut, that voice you heard, no longer the revolving third chair. Hopefully we'll make this permanent. Some of you know him as the Blend Explosion. I call him JRPG Master. The one and only Garrett. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. I'm waking up. I got my breakfast, a full cup of coffee. Quite the opposite of what Donnie is having right now. I'll take JRPG Master now, but let me tell you, there's probably a ton of other people that's qualified for that position.
On the team,
this may be true.
On the team, sure.
Exactly.
I'll take it.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So just, we want to welcome you, Garrett. You're about to get into me and Donnie's brand of shenanigans, and yeah. I hope you are ready for a ride.
I was thinking about, wait a minute. I'm having a podcast with Donnie and Dev. I seen the Discord arguments. It's a roller coaster, but yeah, I'll try to put in my input here.
Indeed it is, and we have a good amount of stuff to talk about. Mm-hmm. There has been so much tech news as of late, and as Donnie does, he eats the hype, and boy, oh boy, did he take a bite this week.
My goodness.
Good Lord.
I've had some fun.
So with that in mind, we're going to start with Garrett, because why not? We normally start our segment off, what new tech you got? So is there anything new that you have gotten recently that you're just excited about from the tech space?
I don't think so. I'm trying to look around my desk right now, full of just jumbled wires and just random controllers everywhere. I did pre-order a Retroid Pocket 2, which got out. I put it on Discord. It's just a handheld emulation pocket machine, basically. It says it can support up to N64 ROMs and then Dreamcast ROMs too. So we'll see how that goes. I will test that out later. I'll probably get it 2 months later because I'm ordering it from China, so it's gonna take forever these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Excellent. Myself, I have pre-ordered a monitor from Eve Spectrum that I'm super duper excited about. Got the HDMI 2.1, 144 Hertz and 4K, as well as HDR 600. So super excited about that coming in. I got a new Western Digital Black NVMe hard drive for my rig over here.
Nice.
As well as a terabyte SSD for storage. So we're going with all the fast speeds in the PC, which is waiting for that lovely Nvidia 3080.
Giant.
You golden.
I'm just...
By God, he's got the 3080. He's got the 3080. He's got to kill him. Get him out of there.
Oh, my God.
Just chomping at the bit, waiting for them to drop that so I can give them all my monies. Other than that, I got a new Keylight Air. I'm trying to think. I feel like I've gotten so much stuff since the last time we've recorded.
Right.
But I think that is about it. But yeah, just... living the tech dream over here, and definitely living vicariously through Donnie, making him spend all his monies on all the things. So Donnie, what have you recently acquired?
Well, I did get new headphones. I can bring that up. We haven't talked about it.
That's true.
I don't even know what I got. I got the Xbox.
You got the
versions.
SteelSeries 9X.
Yep.
Got the SteelSeries.
Yep. And
just 9X.
They're like the exact same headphones that I had before. The only difference is that they fully integrate with Xbox. So I was telling Grouchy. Grouchy was asking me, he's like, so what's the difference between because I sent Grouchy my old ones for like $50.
Sevens, yeah.
I was like, hey, I'll just shoot them over there to you. So he was like, so are your headphones better? I was like, I think they're exactly the same. Like headphone wise, sound, fit, everything. I was like, these are the exact same headphones. I said, except for mine, when I press the button, it turns on my Xbox and they automatically pair beautifully. And I can pair to my phone while I'm playing. So I can have Discord on my phone, which, by the way, doesn't go well. Like when you're Bluetooth paired with the headset, it really disrupts the microphone when you're doing both. We realized that after a few hours, like everybody was complaining that they couldn't hear me. I kept going in and out. So when we jumped on Xbox Party Chat and I disabled the Bluetooth, no problems at all. Like everybody's like, oh, no, this is way better. So I won't use Discord with them anymore. But when I'm playing solo, I can pair them to my phone and I can listen to music while I play at the same time. And they have a little dial that I can mix, which channel I'm hearing to most. And that's like the perfect way to play Tony Hawk, Forza. Like a lot of the games that I play, I was having a lot of fun just like listening to my own music and adding to my own soundtrack. So those have been a blast. I have also bought a new TV that I see staring over at me just across the room here.
Yeah. You were so adamant only hours before you made the purchase that you were not buying a TV. Like,
you just flipped a
I'm not
switch.
TV. Like, not at all. I'm not buying a TV.
I talk myself into some things sometimes. I'm happy to waffle. I'm happy to flip the script and jump to the other side. I wasn't so okay. This segue into some news, but it was the announcement of the Xbox and like the subsequent fallout of the Xbox that made me really want to jump. So leading into this gen, I was thinking, obviously, like comparing to what we have now, the big impression was we're not going to have like lots of games that do 120. Like they're saying it, like 8K. They're saying it, they're putting it on the box, but every time I looked at it, it was like multiplayer in 120. I'm like, well, I don't care about that either. Like, I'm not like, I don't do that either. So I was like, I'm going to be fine, just fine. 4K 60 on my 1X or my Series X is going to be just fine right there. And then news started to come out of all these different games that are like 4K 120, 4K 120. And then I'm sitting in Jeff Grubb's Discord and he's like, I really got to find myself a 120 display. He's like, I can't tell you guys NDA reasons, but I got to find a 120 display. And I even yelled at him. I was like, don't say that to me.
Plants the seed into your brain.
If only I had Jeff Grubb's reach, because I have been telling you this for I don't know how long. And you just refuse to listen to me. And not only the 120 thing, but also trying to explain to you that you have the shit version of HDR and that there is so much better.
Yeah, no, well that I understood, right? Like that I knew, but like, was I gonna upgrade an entire TV for HDR? I wasn't, and then Dolby posted a video of what Dolby Vision looks with Cyberpunk, and wow, that's what did it.
Yeah,
I'm not even lying to you. That's what did it. That's what set it over the top. I saw that side by side, and I was like, those are different games. Like, that's a completely different
pop.
Yeah, it's like that's a completely different experience. Wow, I definitely want that other version. So post in Discord, I want that purple drink. Like I looked at it, I was like, oh man, I want that a lot. I really want that experience. So I started looking into it, and they're expensive, especially if you buy like a big TV. But as I started like combing through as many models I could find, throwing them at Dev, trying to get his approval. And he's like, no, not this one. No, not that one. No, not this one. We did find one. It's the LG NanoCell ThinQ. And it's about $900 for the 55 inch. And I was doing all my math. I was like, well, if I sold my TV and I did this and I sold the other thing, maybe I could get this. And then I found
Deals with Donnie, full effect.
I found the 49 inch was happening to be on sale at my local Best Buy that I got for $5.99. So it was $6.50 out the door, and I already have a buyer for my other TV, so I got $200 coming back.
Wow.
So that was down to like
That was quick.
That was down to like $450, and I got a $25 gift card, so I can put that towards the Series X later. So I was like, that's not that bad. I can go ahead and pull this trigger, and I did. And I brought it home and I set it up, and I showed Devin in the Discord. You know, I only sit like a few feet away from my TV to begin with.
3 feet, if that.
Yeah, I have a little dresser, and then I have a recliner like right in front of it. That's my game TV. So I didn't really mind, you know, lowering the size of the TV for you know, for a much better experience, and it is a much better experience.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. This is by far the best TV I've ever had. I started booting up different games, just taking pictures to share. Like Gears, kind of insane. And I don't know why. I haven't played Gears like since last year, I guess, when it came out. But like it feels incredibly smooth. And I presumed it was 4K 60 on my old TV, but they don't feel the same. It feels like like it's almost like in like fast forward. It's like it's so fast. I was sitting there like trying to like move the reticle and the aim or the camera around real fast to see if I can get it to blur anything. Not a chance. Like the entire time I was like, wow, this is insane. So I'm set. HDMI 2.1, Dolby Vision enabled, 120 hertz. I got the whole thing. So I'm set. I'm set. It is gorgeous.
You're seriously set. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, if you'd only listened sooner. But I'm glad that you finally understood what I was talking about and could actually see it and really believe it and just
I think the Series S even like got me over excited because they're pushing like 120 Gears 5 on Series S. I was like, oh, they're not joking. Like this isn't a marketing bullet. They're for real. Like, no. We're about to take frames in a whole new place. Like I was like, oh my Lord.
Well, that's the PC level now.
Right.
What you just described, I'm like, I'm doing that on my main monitor on my PC. It's beautiful. It's heavenly.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'm glad you're on board with this.
He was trying to say that was new tech. I was like, no, that's not new tech. We've been doing this for years. And the funny thing is, games used to be 60 frames on console until they decided the graphics were more important. But with the Series X and with this next gen, like the CPUs are just head and shoulders above what they are in our current gen, which truly allows them to go back to having games moving at frame rates that are not feeling like you're moving in molasses.
Yeah. So, and then that's what the Series S, like when they're like, hey, here's Gears 120 on this, that's when I'm like, I think the light went off in my head. I was like, oh, these CPUs are for real. like this is not a joke. This is for real. Oh man. That's
all the frames, all the HDRs, all the Ks. We are going to be just living it up with these new next gen.
When that Dolby Vision comes,
oh my god,
I'm going to replay so many games because
it's going to be insane.
I mean, if that deployment is exactly like the demo that they handed out, I mean, to me, those are different games.
Yeah, absolutely. Your miles may vary because we don't know how.
Sure.
Everything is going to shake out, but I do think games like Cyberpunk are just going to absolutely blow.
Because you had like on the right side, you know, like on the standard Cyberpunk side, it was like last gen game. And then on the left side, it was like Dolby Vision, new gen game. I was like, I want to see Ori like this. I want to see Gears like this. I want to read Forza like this. Oh my God. I want to replay everything. I want to do Tomb Raider again. Like I want to it's just, that was the thing. That Dolby Vision is for real. That's
now
legit.
When they do those comparisons, I know they want to see the difference. I'm just trying to understand the optics of what is the previous comparison? Is it just without Dolby Vision with 4K?
Yeah.
Or whatever? Okay.
Yep. It's just it was basically like no HDR.
Okay.
It may have been HDR10, but I mean it wasn't like an overly bright picture. No. So I would say no HDR versus Dolby Vision.
And Dolby Vision
says SDR, so standard, no, nothing.
Dolby Vision might as well be RGB for consoles. Like it's just drip in neon glow. I was like, oh my, like that blew my mind. That was what set me over. Because honestly, if you buy a TV, you can do 120 frames. I still would have kept my old TV. I'd be like, I'm okay at 60. But the HDR, the Dolby Vision, I was like, oh, I'm not okay not having that.
Yeah,
gotcha.
This is
not
Lucas
has said many a time he's like, HDR is the real thing. Like once you actually see good HDR, and I have to, impress upon you good HDR. So I'm talking HDR 600 or higher. When you have HDR 400, it's not bright enough to really truly give you HDR. But once you get the 600, you get the Dolby Vision, you get the brightness that actually allows those colors to pop. It's just a night and day difference. And it also has to be something that actually supports that.
On my Roku TVs that I had, especially the new one that I bought last year, I mean, it's HDR 10. I definitely noticed the difference with HDR on and off. Like, I enjoyed The Last of Us could let you toggle it, like, in scenes. You could see the difference. Mm-hmm. So I could see the difference. There was definitely a notable difference, but it wasn't the Cyberpunk thing. I think even if you have good HDR, I think there's a huge difference between good HDR and Dolby Vision. I am sold.
You're slowly convincing me.
Dolby Vision is nuts.
I got this TCL, I don't know, 2017, 2018 model. Mm-hmm. I think. I think it's crap HDR or just the regular HDR. I don't know, but you're slowly convincing me. If only I had more funds.
Is it a Series 4? Is it a Series 6, 8?
I gotta look back and let you know. I just got a 4K TV for the Xbox One X, and that was that. Yep.
We didn't talk about like people have done the manic rush that it was. Like I basically just decided after Shaq, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this.
It's like, what is going on?
He's messaging me during Shaq, like, oh my god, what is this? Because it was so funny because I knew you were doing Shaq, and I'm like, that was out of left field. Well, let's go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I'm trying to put my kids to bed, and me and Donnie are just like having this constant back and forth. What about this one? Gosh. What about this one? No, that one's not native. No, don't do that. It's not HDMI 2.1. Just the constant back and forth, deep rabbit hole dive that we do. I mean, it's basically like our Discord chats, but in private. It's the same nonsense.
There's some talk also that Dolby Vision might be exclusive to Xbox on console.
Yes, this is true. There is the possibility that it is only coming to the Xbox Series S and X in the console space.
Wow.
The only thing that gives me hope is that from the Dolby site, they actually say first, but there is lots of rumors that it's only coming to those two consoles, and it makes sense. It's very possible because we know Sony likes to do its own proprietary thing, and they're doing their own thing with audio. And with Dolby Vision comes Dolby Atmos. It's kind of a package deal. So I can very easily see it not coming to PS5. But we did get breaking news that there will be a PS5 showcase Wednesday, September 16th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully, if there is some Dolby Vision coming, we will know then. We will hopefully also know release date, price, launch lineup, all of the nitty-gritty details that I was hoping we'd have this week when I recorded XP, but we don't. And we will be having the good old Donnie Reese emergency broadcast recording Wednesday after the show with the XP crew. So
sure,
nice,
very, very excited.
Is that at PAX?
I don't know where
there's a PAX online.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't think it's. I think
it's just a 40-minute recording.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a 40-minute presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, so super duper excited about that.
$5.99.
Finally, look here.
$5.99. Oh my god.
So
we're gonna pull a PS3.
You
don't say
me. It's so funny. We were recording. I recorded XP last night. Actually, just a few hours ago because it is early as hell here. And I was talking about how I pray that they are not back on this super arrogant PS3 era where things are stupid. Stupid expensive. You'll want a second job, blah, blah, blah. And there's been rumors that Sony was going to go with a higher price, and with Xbox being like, hey, here's this super cheap,
and those are
easy like entry console.
Corroborated rumors, not like people tweeting, store pictures from Germany and whatnot. Like those are folks, Eurogamer, GameSpot, they're all like, yeah, from what we heard here, like the S is going to really kind of push PlayStation. They're gonna maybe have to lower, and I expect that they will. They will.
I'm hoping $3.99 and $4.99. That
seems to be the going bet.
That's been what we've heard for the last 6 months.
That sounds like you're gonna get a hell of a deal though at $3.99. Like they're losing money at $3.99 on that machine. Like
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
SSD alone is going to eat up a ton of that cost. I don't know what they've sold other consoles for, in terms of manufacturing costs, but I think
Yeah.
$399 the PlayStation 5 might be the biggest loss they take on a console purchase.
Yeah. But I mean, it may end up being worth it with the amount of market share they
course.
have. If they have the right, if they have the right stuff, they will definitely just slang those consoles like there's no tomorrow.
If they didn't have shareholders, I'm sure these companies would give boxes to people to make sure that they got
Mm.
that 30% off of every purchase sold. The 30% is worth more than your purchase of the box. That's
Yeah.
it's
I
a
mean,
multi-year commitment that they get 30% off everything you buy.
isn't Xbox basically just giving them away with their whole
Yes,
financing thing
they
anyway?
are. They are
They're like,
basically
just do
giving
these
them
like
away.
cell phones.
They are
Take
doing
this
as
box.
much as they can to get you to get that 30%. That's exactly what they're doing.
A great package deal with Game Pass too. I mean, that's the full 9 yards, full package.
Yep.
Going in.
Yep. So let's just get right into the Xbox Series X. And it's crazy, just the way it was announced. It was like a leak. I forgot the guy's name.
Brad
Sam
Sams.
something.
Brad Sams.
Sam,
leaked
yeah.
it.
Had that super late leak.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get Xbox with the tweet like with that one cartoon gif where he's
Is it
like
Sesame
The
Street?
side eye. I don't think that's
I don't
Sesame
know what
Street.
I don't know
It's a
what
Muppet.
it is.
It's not a
Of some
Muppet.
kind.
I don't think it's or at least it's not a Muppet that I'm aware of.
Mhm.
No.
That's why I was
It's
thinking
some kind of
Sesame
weird
Street.
puppet, but they
Okay.
they tweeted that and then they said,
That was
all right,
so
well,
good. There's
let's just make it official. And
give Xbox marketing team credit for rolling with the punches. They
Yeah,
they,
that
they
was
did
great.
that well with Halo as well. Like in all the Halo
Yeah.
thing that they did that well. And then they did this, I think, extremely well. They just kind of
Oh, it was the best.
they fanned the
Very good
flame without really like while they could basically react to it in a way that they wanted to. And that was good
Yeah.
on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we got the full official announcement with the little launch trailer and everything. And then the day after, we got, the Xbox Series X price. We got the actual release date of November 10th. We got the pre-order date of September 22nd. And then late last night, another leak of the actual conference or presser that they were actually going to release also got leaked online, which looked like it was going to be actually a really, really nice event. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox is just, throwing it all out there. And like Garrett said, like it is just a ridiculous value, a ridiculous package that they have managed to come up with for the Series S. I mean, $299 for 1440p machine that will also upscale everything to 4K. And I can't stress enough how good 1440p upscaled to 4K looks. 120 frames per second out the box, and then you throw in Game Pass and just the plethora of games that you have there. Also, you throw in EA Play, and dude, it's just an insane just value and deal that you can get with the Series S. And then if you really are feeling like Donnie and eating all that hype, you get the Series X, you get that Dolby Vision. They force you to buy a new television, and you're in next gen. Period. I mean, it's gonna be just crazy. I mean, whew.
And I think
got me
for-
wanting to buy an Xbox. Almost.
The Series S, what you said, it's a great, entry point. In 1440p upscale 4K is going to be fantastic as well. But I hear a lot of people are saying that people are getting the PS5 or like focused on the PS5 and the Sony ecosystem. This is a great companion kind of console.
Absolutely.
That it's your Game Pass machine. It's slightly cheaper. And I think that's really good for Xbox and Microsoft to bring in as much people as they can. It doesn't have to be the primary exclusive ecosystem that they need. They just need people. And they're getting that with Series S, and they're getting that with Game Pass as well.
Yeah, no, they've made a box. They've made a case for everybody that likes video games to have one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Not and like you can get outside of the console wars and which one's better, or it doesn't matter. Because the Series S is, I've seen so many people on our Twitter, like the Series S was maybe the most welcomed or adopted news that Xbox has made since back Compat or Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody seemed to be on board. Unless you just hate Xbox, everybody was on board. A lot of the folks that are primary PlayStation That's exactly what I heard them say. Well, now I'm gonna get both.
Yeah.
Instead of just
Yep.
getting one, I'm just gonna get both now. And
Yep.
they hit, and it's so not Xbox. I was completely taken by this news. This is so not what Xbox is about. You know, for like 4 years they've preached power, and they're like, here's a box that's less than the One X is. It's like, what?
Basically.
What are we doing
Yep.
right now? And but I think in the end, I think it's going to be really, really good for them, because like you said, it's about concurrent players, it's about interactivity, it's about retention for Xbox now. It's still not even about console sale. Like, the console sold is just the start. That's just the opportunity that they have to sell Game Pass and to get more people in their ecosystem.
It's that gateway drug.
It
Here
is.
you go. Here's a taste.
Yep.
Here's a taste. Now I've got you hooked for life. Can keep coming back.
The scuttlebutt with the Series S the last couple days is there's several devs that have taken to Twitter to talk about it has less RAM. It has less RAM and it's slower RAM. Like, all the RAM in there is slower than the One X. And Microsoft did confirm, which, I mean, I've seen this presented two different ways. There's the informative part of it, just like to let people know, and then there's the console war part of it, where I think people are using it to like weaponize, like, against the Series S. Is that the Series S on back compat games? So this is just for back compat. So if you're playing Xbox One, 360, or original Xbox games, they will run the base version. And when I mean the base version, they will run the version of those games that run on Xbox One S, or the Xbox One if you still have the VCR. So it's going to run the version of that game. And a lot of people are like, why? They're upset. And I don't get it. I feel like maybe it's part messaging, but like, I feel like this is a very simple thing to explain. The Series S is a 1440p machine. It doesn't push 4K. So why would you be able to run Xbox One X enhanced version of games? A lot of those enhancements are specifically built for 4K. Like, I don't know very many enhancements that aren't, actually. I think every One X enhanced game that I've seen outside of like 360 games are 4K. Almost every one of them are 4K. Very rarely do we get frames without a resolution boost. So you're going to run the base version of those games, but you will benefit off of the hardware. Like, whatever the hardware can do to that game, it'll do. So if you put it on the SSD, it'll load super fast. If you put it on the SSD, I imagine if it can upscale it, it'll upscale it. That is, unless they optimize the old game, which I wouldn't expect many people to do. That's a lot of work.
Right.
But if they do, if they like unlock the frames, you can go play Alan Wake at 150 frames or whatever it can run on. Like, if they do something like that, or what I imagine, if Xbox optimizes their games, like we see Gears 5 is being optimized for Series S, you will get a lot more benefits. So yeah, I've seen people, like I said, I've seen people do it both ways, but just know, if you're like, oh man, the Series S sounds amazing, that upscale to 4K is probably being reserved for new games, Series X, Series games that are optimized for the platform. It doesn't mean everything that runs on it will be upscaled to 4K. It's got to be a 1440p resolution first, then that can get upscaled to 4K. What I haven't seen confirmation on is if they can upscale 1080p to 1440. I haven't seen that at all. That would be cool, because the scaler on the Series S is hardware based. I thought it was a software solution when it was first announced. It's dedicated hardware to upscale. And as you already mentioned, 1440 can be quite good. The Last of Us is 1440.
Last of Us 2, yeah.
The whole time. It's not upscaled to 1440, and it's beautiful.
Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, 1440 is the preferred, spot on PC as well. So
I had my
true.
client service manager for the software that I developed for at work called me to ask me about the Series S.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't play games.
Interesting.
He was like, tell me about this Series S thing. He's like, this is crazy. Because he's seen all the news, he's seen all the tweets. And I started explaining to him, and he was like, I play, he has like a 40, he told me he has a 40-inch TV that he's had since college that he plays games on.
God.
Nice.
And I was like, dude, the Series S is totally for you. Like, this is exactly what it is for you. He's like, yeah, I don't care about the difference. And I'm not that person. I don't imagine people listening to Game Tech are that people. Like, we won all the Ks and all the P. Like, that's what we do. But
absolutely,
we are few. I
That's
100% see the Series S as it's going to outsell the X and droves.
Oh, yeah.
Like 4-1, it's going to outsell it.
I mean, didn't the Xbox One S outsell the One X?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they did their market research right there. Like that there proves, hey, there is a market for this lower powered version of the system just to be able to get people in and play video games, because there is still once again like a large market of people who don't even have a 4K TV.
Yep.
You've also got people who swear to God they can't see the difference. I think that's insane
Like Jeff
because
Grubb.
it's I mean,
You know what that means? You need glasses. That's what that means.
it means a oof.
You can't drive, sir.
Yeah, I mean to stop, get off the road. You're a danger to everyone.
And for those concerned that the Series S, like if it outsells, it'll become the new benchmark. I mean, it's running Gears 5 120 frames. It's not like it's a lesser version. Like you can still run all the games. It is almost equivalent across the board, except GPU and RAM. And that RAM is interesting. And I don't think we have an answer. I don't think we'll have an answer until developers start working for it. But the several devs that I've seen pointed out, I think it's twofold. I think devs that are upset with it, it seems the most of them that are upset with it haven't used it yet. I think that seems to be a common denominator. Yeah, they don't. Almost every one of them, when they were asked, they've all said that they don't currently have software kit for it. So I think that's part of it. I think a part of it is I think every dev always wants more resources. So when you see a new gen and you don't have more, I think you get a little upset. But I do think, I'm going to be the fanboy here. I'll be the optimist. You know, there's a lot of folks that are like, oh, this is going to hold back development. With the new SSD and how it can relate to games and how it can be used to access assets faster, these are things that free up CPU and RAM from game design of old. That's why you're probably running the 1S version of back compat stuff, because they're not optimized. If they optimize for you to run that off the SSD, you could probably run those in 4K as well. But they're not going to go back and update 1,000 games. They're going to work on the new stuff.
Right.
So when this new SSD gets put in and people start developing to use it with the velocity architecture, I see no reason to expect that 5 years from now, something that's running on Series X, you know, can be Dolby and can be 4K and can be all the frames. It can still run on 1S. It's the same CPU. It's the same SSD. It's the same everything. I don't think that RAM, I think the importance on RAM going forward is lessened by the inclusion of the new storage system and how it's built into the motherboard. That's the other part of it. Not just the SSD, but how it's integrated into the system.
I mean, have you seen that form factor? It's just so small. It's so compact.
It's ridiculous. I have to see. I saw the blowout, but like I'm just so like amazed at being able to get all that tech and thinking about the heat, and then the airflow that it has. Just that's a modern marvel right there.
I mean, have you seen the comparison between that and the Xbox One S? Like, it's smaller than the One S.
It's insane.
It's almost as small as the Classic Mini.
Spencer's. It was on his shelf and nobody noticed. That's how small it was.
How would anyone notice that? It was just the blurriest.
Yeah, it was like turned
white.
sideways. It was just white. It's just any white box.
Yeah, so.
But it's so small that you would have never thought it was a console, because we also have the behemoth that is the PS5. So you're expecting, and even when the Series X,
oh God, he's got the PS5. Oh, Austin's got the PS5.
Like a refrigerator. So like we're looking for these giant boxes. But
I can't wait for somebody to hit somebody with a PS5 in wrestling. Just pulls one out.
Oh my God, it's gonna be great.
Just a slab metal.
Oh man, just a battle of the PS5 and the 3090. Oh man, just ridiculous.
No, it is almost. It's not, but it's almost Wii-like, and it definitely feels Wii-like compared to these other consoles. Yeah. And that's the other part of it. The form factor is quite enticing, even if I don't like the black grill on the top of it. Like it's a weird look.
The speaker.
The good old speaker, yeah.
It could be awesome with
into it.
It could be awesome with special designs, which Xbox does.
I mean, just come on, Pope. Just hire the man, make him make all the special editions for everyone, for everything, because his stuff is just unparalleled. Like it doesn't get any better than Xbox, Pope. That dude, what he creates is insane.
I'm thinking of getting both. I have the Cyberpunk 1X, and it's limited and it's somewhat rare and they're hard to find. And,
Profit.
and I'm probably gonna flip it.
Money.
Yep, and that's why. And look, I'm not tied to it. I never was. I always felt like if I really loved the game, I would keep it. But this One S, I'm like, ooh, I kind of want both now. That's how crazy good value the S is. Like I'm looking, I'm like, I want both. It's like,
Yeah.
I want the X for me, and I'll put the S upstairs and let Jack play. Like it'll be kind of like Jack's Xbox. It's like, hey, you guys do all this, and you leave mine alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I will definitely consider getting the S for my daughter so she can play her Oris and things of that nature and put that in the living room and be like, leave me alone.
So as a primary PlayStation gamer, how do you feel about the aspect that like folks, they go Black Friday shopping, which probably not happening because of coronavirus, but let's say they all log on online and they're like, all right, I want to get Johnny a new video game system or something for Christmas. How do you think that's going to play if one's $299? Let's just assume the other's $399. Do you think PlayStation has enough like built-in goodwill with customers that they would pay more?
I do, honestly. I believe they do. I mean, little Johnny says, I want a PlayStation. Grandma's going to give him a PlayStation. It's the people like us who actually understand the differences that are going to be like, well, this is a great value. And if you're only Black Friday shopping online and you don't have anybody explaining to you what the hell any of these 17 systems are, and Johnny wants a PlayStation, you get a PlayStation. But for those who are in the know, who are actually looking at this stuff, I think you're going to get a lot of those people who are like, man, this is just a great deal. You also have to remember we're still in a pandemic. I don't see that going away anytime soon. You got people who don't have jobs, who are trying to find a way to make ends meet. And if you still want to be able to get something extra special for Christmas or get a gaming system because, you're stuck at home, the One S or the Xbox Series S, you can't beat that in terms of value for being able to get something that is still a really, really great purchase at a very, very comfortable and reasonable price where you don't feel like you're breaking the bank. I mean, if the discless version is only $100 more, it's not as hard of a jump, but I still think that that price point is going to garner a lot of purchases.
Yeah, I agree. I think price matters way more to most people. I think when most people buy video games machines, I think price matters most. I mean, they're selling the S model for cheaper than Switches in certain places. They're selling it cheaper than a One X costs now. That's how crazy they are launching a brand new console at a lower price than they currently sell consoles for. It's almost unheard of. I was taken aback by just the strategy and everything.
Absolutely. And it's so funny that like everybody's like, oh, it's less powerful than the One X. Well, you know what? The One X can't do that many frames. It can't access the hard drive the way that this one can. So if you really think about it, all the games that are running at 1440p on current gen are also running at 30 frames. They don't have ray tracing. This does. True. It's got ray tracing. It runs at least 60 frames and at times 120. So it's not that it's less powerful. It does things differently. It does things better. So this system isn't less powerful than the One X.
You get the system
if you want to just
stuff.
It does so much more than all of this current gen. I mean, just being able to push out the frames and be able to access that hard drive, the quick resume, the ray tracing, it's no contest. So it was smart of Microsoft to be like, yeah, we're discontinuing the manufacture of the X because this is the box you should get. This is what you really want to get. If you want to spend that price point, the Series S is the box you should get. Period.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I think the One X discontinuing it is a very smart thing to do because they sold it as like a 4K machine for this gen. And it's just like, well, that's going to be obsolete now that the Series X is going to come in and just destroy everything with that 4K 60 or 120. Guys, I'm considering, not the Series S, but I'm considering selling my One X. I think I may take it down today, sell it off and save that money for a Series X. Because I think, I want to purchase a Series X eventually. But like now that I didn't know I could sell it at a reasonable price.
Oh yeah.
Like it's insane. Like I see Facebook local marketplace, it's like $350 or $400.
That's
and I'm
what
like,
Dev sold his for.
sure. I am more than happy to sell my One X at a profit because I got mine at a deal.
Sure.
And then grab that Series X for $100
My
more.
Cyberpunk version's going well over 500 right now online.
I told you.
Yeah, they're selling. Yeah. I'm not willing to go a couple months without my X. Like I'm still actively playing it every day, so I'm gonna wait. And then the price might go down. And if the price goes down, I'll just keep it. But yeah, but I 100%. I mean, as somebody getting a Series X, I'm all for it, Garrett. Like, come on over here. Let's put that thing to the test because the Series X is a monster. It is an absolute beast. I cannot wait to see what devs can do with it once it becomes the new standard.
Yep. Like I told Seth, I was like, dude, just stop playing, flip them. Like, sell your X. Sell your X. Like, get rid of it, get the S, get a Series X. Like, if you right now, while the time is good, like, flip the system.
It feels like
sold mine for $350.
It feels like almost like insider trading. Like when we follow the news this much, like we know before everybody else knows. So it's like we can hit the market and really, really make a ton off of things before everybody else realizes that there are other consoles launching soon.
Yeah. Whew. Series
Nice.
S. It's that hotness. Took the world by storm.
It's a good Xbox week.
Think about it. In years to come, like let's say 2 years from now, they can drop the price of the Series S to $250. What happens the day we have a Series S for $199?
Yeah. See, yeah, they're gonna just put those in all the aisles that you're walking down. Just like, just there's that impulse buy you talk about, Donnie.
Cheaper than a Switch.
Let's get it.
Oof.
And I can
Cheaper
fit
than
it
a
in
Switch
my
Lite.
pocket.
Yeah.
Or the same price. Jeez. That would be insane.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Good times. Speaking of absolutely insane, Nvidia. Oh, they dropped the hammer. Oh my goodness. The 3000 series cards, they had their announcement. It feels like it was just yesterday, but it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a week and a half ago now.
Still basking in the excitement of what they have done with their 3000 series cards. The 3080, the 3090, the 3070 were all announced, and they are a huge jump compared to what the 2000 series was. Everybody's saying that it is like the biggest jump since the 900 series to the 1000 series to the 1080 Ti and that gen, what it did for gaming. I mean, you have me and Garrett who both are still running a 1080 Ti because the 2000 series was just like barely a jump. It just didn't even make any sense to go that, and that they have just completely eclipsed that. You're getting double the power almost from the 3080 of the 2080 Ti, and the price point of $699 is absolutely insane for that amount of performance. You're getting second generation ray tracing. So it's just the price of performance is absolutely insane. And if you've been on our Discord and you've been in either Game Tech or PC Master Race, you will see the amount of hype that we're all eating. That's the reason why I sold my 1X or my 1X to actually flip, to be able to start getting down funds to be able to get the 3080 and have all the frames, all the Ks, everything. I'm just, buddy. And it's coming out in just a few days. 5 days from today is when it's supposed to drop. The 17th is when they're supposed to go on sale. If you were lucky, there were some Asus models that went on sale on Photo B&H or whatever that website is. Some of those went up for pre-order and they sold out immediately. And on the 17th, I'm just super excited. The tech enthusiast world is just like, the embargo date was the 14th, but it moved to the 16th. But all of the language and the stuff that we've seen from just their unboxing videos, they're all like, guys, this is it. Like, this is the thing. And just from everything that we're hearing, these cards are just beastly. So if you're in the PC space and you've been waiting to upgrade, you decided we're not going to go with the 20 series, or you went with maybe a 2060 or a 1660 Ti, or you're still sitting on that 900 series card like Mr. Lacey, the 3000 series is the upgrade we've been waiting for. This is
Mhm.
this is where you jump in. If you're looking to upgrade your PC, this is when you do it. These cards are absolutely incredible from what we're hearing. We'll hear more about them on the 16th when that review embargo goes up. But what a time to be alive.
It's insane. Like it got me jumped a little bit too. I don't have, I'm a graduate student. I don't get a lot of funds in. And like when I saw these cards with these price points, I'm just like, what? How can they
Right.
have a 3080 that's was it twice more powerful than a 2080 Ti and then
Mm-hmm.
having that price point half? It's
Yeah.
half the price of a 2080 Ti. Nvidia just did a fantastic job at like knowing what to do for these next series because I think they understood competition.
Mm-hmm.
What was with AMD coming in with that price performance kind of perk over there, and I think a lot of people are saying this too. It's these next gen consoles
Mm-hmm.
with their new architecture. They're going to run pretty well at a great price point. Nvidia needed to do kind of the same, but for the PC space,
Yeah.
and and
Absolutely.
and I think they're trying to get like people like me, right? That I like PC a lot, and I love building them, and it's great and everything. It's just the money, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's an investment. And then when you see the Xbox Series X and even the PS5 in their price points, and then how long you're going to have them, that's very enticing as well. So they needed to close the gap with that. Um,
Absolutely.
3080 is the perfect price point, by the way. I think 3070 is good too. But and then the 3090 is just
Oh,
you don't need it.
you don't.
You don't need it right now. It's an 8K. Was it 8K 60 or 120 GPU? I remember the influencers that were looking at the screen and they were like so shocked. It was
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable to them. It was so buttery smooth to them. But yeah, I'm glad Nvidia did this, and they did this before Sony and Microsoft. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
here it is. And I understand people are comparing. It's like, oh, it's just one component versus the rest of the consoles, but really, it's the power. We're comparing power between these
Mm-hmm.
consoles and the GPU, and Nvidia just did it great. We'll see how AMD does now. It's their turn. I don't know.
Yeah, AMD. Ugh. I don't know what they can do. I mean, the whole reason we have the Super series from the 2000 was because AMD was like, yeah, we're going to release something that is very comparable price
Mm-hmm.
per performance, and we're going to give you this price point. Nvidia was like, ah, man, we need to do something to be able to compete with the space in these cars, and that's where we got the Super model. And then they completely flipped it by releasing the price points of the 3080, the 3070, which is also faster than the 2080 Ti, which is
Right.
just absolutely insane. And I know that everybody's like, it's just one component, but you have to understand in the enthusiast space, like you already have the rest of the components.
Mm-hmm.
Most people who are playing on PC already have a PC. So you just have to buy the card. You don't have to necessarily upgrade everything. You just buy the card, which is almost around the same price as a console. Like when you look at the 2070, it's what, $499? It's the
Yeah, the
same price as
3070 is 500
yeah,
bucks. Yeah.
yeah. It's the same price as getting the Series X or PS5 with the disc, we
Mm-hmm.
assume. So you're looking at the same kind of price point, but you're looking at more power, and you're on the PC. So it's not so much that it's like, oh, I gotta go spend $2,000. Most people who are in that PC space already have the rest of the components, so they're really just dropping the price for their basically next gen upgrade, the same way
Mm-hmm.
you would be doing in your console space. And a lot of people, they will keep cards for a while, especially when you have the 2000 series. It just wasn't that kind of an upgrade.
Right.
It's just like this 1080 is still doing it. I'm not going to upgrade yet. So they, like you said, they hit just at the right time, and they were able to be like, here it is, here's the price, here's when it drops,
Pretty
and
much.
just boom, it just blew up. Everybody's super excited about it. Um, AMD should be scared with their graphics cards. I don't know what they can do, and the fact that they don't have their reveal until October 28th, which is so far out, which is
Mm-hmm.
after the 2070 drops, which is after the 2080 drops, they have to do something really huge to really get people to come in, and it's also like their first go round of ray tracing. This is not
That's
like
true.
second gen ray tracing. This is their first go round of ray tracing. So I don't know what they're going to be able to do to compete with Nvidia outside of price. Like I think their big Navi, like Lee said in the chat, 499 will probably be like their top end card to try and compete, to try to get people to actually, go AMD. But that also doesn't talk about like the RTX Broadcast Center, which creators are going to just absolutely eat up. So for
Donnie, have
people
you seen
who,
this? The broadcasting?
Yeah, I clicked on like I think an article that had like some bullet points and stuff. I haven't really like dove in. I saw
You
some
should
of the
see a
stuff with the
video.
audio and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, it is insane. Like for creators, you don't even need a new card for it, Donnie. You can download it. You can download the RTX voice right now,
Yeah.
and it actually does. Like I have a fan going in the background. You can't hear it. There's a fan blowing right directly into my mic. Actually, I don't think you can hear it at all.
I can't
It
hear
does
it.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what it also does with being able to blur the background, it gives you green screen. You have some of the feathering effects you would normally have with like the software green screens, but it looks really, really, really good. And that's just part of their broadcast suite. So for creators, they've also been able to do something that is quite amazing for anybody with an NVIDIA card. Anybody with an NVIDIA card, not just the 30 series, the 3000 series, just anybody with an NVIDIA card. You've also now got this pretty sweet broadcasting platform for anybody who's in the creative space, who's recording podcasts, who's going live. It's something that's exciting for all of us in that space because we are all content creators. So they've just been able to put down a great package for, the enthusiast side. It is absolutely to die for.
Mm-hmm. They also show off DLSS and their latest version of that. These cards are powerful, way powerful, but now with DLSS, their upscaling is going to be fantastic. Like these are going to be long-term cards. I don't see, like if I get a 3080 and if I get a great display and all tuned up, I can't imagine going more of an upgrade. I don't know, in the next 5 years or something like that with this upscaling technology and how efficient these games are going to be once they're optimized with this DLSS. Like you saw the marbles. It's just beautiful. So I'm very excited for NVIDIA. I'm totally focused on getting NVIDIA card. Just depends when.
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely not for the faint of heart. Because it is a pretty big expenditure, especially if you're also trying to get consoles, things of that nature. It is definitely a lot of money. And again, like you said, like getting a good display, you definitely want to have something that can actually, take advantage of what you're putting out. Like the display is important. And with DLSS, oh my God, like you look at like they showed what was it? Death Stranding.
Yes, they did.
Native 4K running at 60 frames and everything. And it was still kind of grainy, little Then they showed it with the DLSS, and it is like just it is eye candy. It looks so good. It's just buttery smooth. It is just oh my goodness. And the lighting, the ray tracing, like the second gen ray tracing that you're getting from this is just incredible. And now it doesn't kill the actual like PC, like it doesn't kill your performance. You can actually get ray tracing to run and not have such a huge dip. And the graphics cards are so much better now. It's like, oh, your PC, your CPU, you can't let. I got you. I got this. Everything. The CPU, the GPU just does everything now. It's like we don't even need the CPU.
We don't even need a computer. So like you just plug your HDMI cord right into the graphics card, and you just set it on your desk, and you play from there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. That's all you need. I mean, as long as you got the graphics card, you don't need anything else.
It's big enough.
But that's true. Unlike your little tiny machine that can't fit a card.
Yeah, my card, that card will not fit in my box at all.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
3080?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's got a tiny little Dell. He's got one of their little machines.
Yeah, apparently my gaming PC isn't gaming PC enough. It doesn't even qualify.
It's just
your case is small. His case is just small. It's not even like a micro. It's weird. It's a Dell. It's small.
Why did you get a Dell case?
This is what
he ate the hype.
This is what Dev told me to buy.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, no, no. We are not. I said yes. You can get that. It's got the specs you need because you didn't want to build or do
Oh,
anything
of
else. You
course,
were
yeah.
trying to
I'm not
find
doing that.
the all-in-one thing. So it was a good buy, and for Donnie,
Oh,
it's
okay.
perfect. It
Yeah.
ran Ori.
Oh, yeah.
He played Gears Tactics. He got him the widescreen monitor. Like it does what Donnie needs. It's the perfect buy for him. It was at a great price point.
Yeah.
And if he does want to upgrade it at some point, it does have upgradability. We could do that if he ever chose
It's
to
got
do so. But
SSD. I got a
I
2060.
Yeah.
It's a nice
Oh.
little compact case, some i7. It's fine. It's a powerful computer.
Yeah.
Cool.
Got for like $1,000, right?
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Actually.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So the form factor of the 3080, wow, that Founders Edition, I don't know, is the way they laid out the grill and the fans. Donnie, we're getting into this. This form factor. If you think the Series S was cool, this 3080,
It's so gorgeous.
It's a beautiful piece of machinery, and like it puts like 2080. I saw the 2080 Ti. There's literal screws that go into the casing of the GPU, but the 3080 is like pretty smooth. There's like no screws, all in one. You could see through the grills as well, and then you can actually. People are gonna try to figure out how to get the PCB out of there. This is gonna be a great time for PC.
Yeah. It is definitely like just a renaissance, and people are super excited. It's so much fun. It's so much fun in the PC space if you're into that. Oh my god! And yeah, that Founders Edition card is beautiful. It is so gorgeous. I love the look of it. I love what they've done. I'm not a big fan of the AIB cards. They just look like a lot of them look like they just have too much going on. All the fans and all. I don't like that look. And this is just a very, very clean, polished look. I know some people are like, "Ugh, but it's bronze. It doesn't go with anything." Quite honestly, I think that bronze is going to just kind of blend in. Like you won't notice it anywhere near as much, and it's just a sleek card.
Yeah.
So, whew, it's pretty. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what people do with it. I can't wait to see Lee pull it apart and put his water cooling on it.
I want to see that. I want to see that project just on that
Yes.
Discord channel. It's like, how are you going to do water cooling with this thing? Ugh, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, I'm not either, but I love watching the people do it and people make their pipes and their bends and their runs
It's
and all of that
insane,
stuff.
man.
It's nuts, but it is so awesome. I love it. Yeah, can't wait. Cannot wait. The 16th can't get here fast enough. I've got a PS5 announcement on the 16th. We get the embargo lifted, and then the 17th, I'm gonna throw away all my money on 3080. I can't wait. Can't wait. So moving right along, just a couple of things. I keep hearing all of these rumors about a Switch Pro,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a new Switch, 4K Switch.
I don't even. Yeah, that's the question. Is it a Pro? Is it a Pro or is it its own thing?
And people going back and forth with this. I even see like the titles like Switch 2/Pro. And I'm like, okay, what is this gonna be?
Yep.
And again, we talked about this on Shaq. The latest rumor is that Nintendo's asking developers to have their games 4K ready. And Donnie just laid it out of what it could possibly be. Some couple of options here, what the Switch Pro could be. For me personally, I don't really care if it's 4K ready on a television or not. Nintendo for me is a handheld console. The Switch is a handheld console for me. So if I just get a Switch Pro and that is just better, form factor, Tegra X2 in there, have maybe a nice display, maybe a little bit not as bulkier, maybe a little thinner, sleeker. That's what I want.
Better wireless.
Sure, I don't know if that makes sense.
I feel like the Wi-Fi sucks on that thing. So
Really?
Okay.
please. Yeah.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It downloads so slow.
Really?
Compared to everything else I have wirelessly in my house,
do you
it just
download it when
downloads super slow.
Did you put it to sleep when you download?
Yes.
Wow. Because yeah.
Yeah. It feels like it moves slow.
Huh.
But a Switch Pro, I mean, I think it for me on the outside looking in, it's like, okay, finally Nintendo's kind of like stepping up to the plate and trying to, just kind of be around and be like up to date on their tech so much. But again, like I don't think of that as what Nintendo does. I think, okay, that's cool that they're trying to do that.
They're
but
not trying to do that.
I don't see that. To me, that's not Nintendo. Nintendo, just keep doing your own damn thing. Like,
So
that's your space.
The thing that, all right, yeah, I won't go crazy with it. So I'll try to keep it somewhat brief. But the issue is, the idea of a Switch Pro is an easy one to make, right? They do, like, they fix a Joy-Con, maybe they give you maybe a nicer screen, and then they re-release that as a Pro, but it's basically the same thing, and people rebuy it. And I would be one of those people that would rebuy it. That sounds Nintendo. The idea that Nintendo is going to slap a new chip in and an SSD stick and all this into a Switch handheld, that I have a hard time believing, because that sounds expensive. It sounds real expensive. And Nintendo doesn't do expensive. They never have. It's never gone well when they've tried. Like, that's not what Nintendo does. Nintendo makes toys that are fun that play video games. They don't make iPads. They don't make Asus ROG phones. Like, I keep trying to stick it like in a mobile space. Like, in the mobile space, what would a Switch Pro be? Like, is it a 4K display in portable? That's expensive. Is it a 1080p portable machine that has a better CPU and maybe an SSD stick? Even though, like, the SSDs, like, for mobile are small and they're not, like, expensive, more expensive than what the Switch has now. Like, can you sell a Switch that is a portable machine that does what Garrett's kind of alluding to, what he wants, in a world where you have a $299 Xbox and $500, like, if it's $500 Switch, is that going to sell to anybody? That's too much
not
for
500.
Switch.
No.
So what I've tried to do is I've tried to solve what it is. So I think if they go that route and the upgrade is to a all-inclusive portable form factor that we know today, I think that's Switch 2. That's not Switch Pro, because it's going to be too big of a leap for them to continue developing for the old Switch for ports and stuff. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That's a huge leap. The Switch has a huge bottleneck right now, and its CPU is old. And that's the problem. It's like, that's why the load times are awful. That's why the assets can't stream. That's why all the games get cut down in resolution. It's not graphics. It's not the graphics processor. It's everything else. So, but if they upgrade everything else, you can't cross develop for those two machines. Those two machines are different machines. They're very different. So I've been looking at the Shield TV Pro as a solution. Maybe they come up with some weird dock or console that they sell that you can hook up to your TV that upscales all Switch games that we currently have. And then you can also play them on the go with the Switch that you already have. That's kind of where I'm going with this. Maybe when you dock the machine or you come home to this console, maybe whatever you've been playing on the go can instantly back up to your thing at home. And when you turn on the TV, you have all the Switch stuff that you know and love, but better. That's kind of where I'm going with. It's like an optional upgrade that people could have, like an add-on. Because you can, in the idea behind it is...
an FX chip, like in the N64.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Like, I would buy that because I want to play Breath of the Wild as best as I can. I think a lot of people that already have Switches would buy it, so you're reselling to people. I think that's affordable. The Shield TV Pro, $200. You know, like, a Nintendo can Nintendo-fy that for $300, and I probably still buy it. I'm still gonna get one.
Nintendo people would buy that in droves. Yeah. And I was gonna say you don't split your player base.
Exactly.
I don't.
Why would you? Yeah. Why would you disrupt the Switch cart? It makes no sense. Like, 0 sense. Because at least then, if you did the TV, then people could port their games to Switch. They put in the time, and at least on the TV they run well. But you could still run it on the Switch. It's gonna run like Outer Worlds runs,
like the Switch.
It's gonna run like the Switch. It's not gonna be good, but at least there's an option to play it better. Like, I think that would make ports like the Outer Worlds and stuff sell more. Like, that would, because I think more people would start playing it on the TV. So that's kind of where my headspace is with it. But maybe they've got some DLS whatever that I don't know. Like, maybe they've got something that's an affordable solution for this problem. But at the hardware level, I just don't see it. Like, and a lot of people are a lot of people online, and even in our own Discord, but I think more people online, they keep looking at like the iPad Pro, and they're like, look what the iPad Pro does, and it can do this, and it's like, yeah, it's $1,000.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not
It's not
$1,000 because it doesn't need to be. It's $1,000 because it's expensive. That's the issue with going the mobile way that Nintendo's gone. It's not cheap. And it's not cheap out of build costs. It's not cheap out of competition. There are a billion mobile things. They're all fighting for those screens and the CPUs and the chips. Like, they're expensive. So I don't know. But that's from what I can tell now, until we get more leaks, that's kind of where I see that going. It's got to be one of those two directions. And if I had to guess, I would think it may be more the Shield TV type of way, because what Nintendo did with the Switch is they basically took the Nvidia Shield tablet and they resold it. I could totally see them taking the Shield TV and reselling that too. It's super small. Have you guys seen a Shield TV? It's tiny.
We have them at work.
Yeah, it's
Very
tiny little
tiny,
box, and you know, it's sleek and slim. You could totally do that with a Nintendo Switch and put a cartridge in it and get it a boost, right? Like, it could upscale everything. So you could maybe upscale to, 720 to 1080, 1080 to 1440, 1440 to 4K. I think. I don't know.
I think I like this NVIDIA Shield idea. I still think a refinement of the handheld model is needed. I don't think you just have this add-on and keep this handheld just laid bare, because, as you said, do you think these developers are just gonna exclusively develop on this add-on dock? And that's not gonna be the case. I think you need a little bit more tune-up on that handheld. And they can do that with the Tegra X2. SSD, I don't think so. I think you're right that price is going to fly off. But like, maybe, I don't know, if they could put out a current $300 Refinement Pro handheld and knock down the OG Switch model to $250, I think that could be possible.
But with the Tegra X2, you're just upgrading the graphics processing. You still are limited and hindered by storage and the CPU the Switch has. Like, that's still a limitation. And that's where I go, if you upgrade the handheld and you go Tegra X2, then I would hope that you would upgrade the storage and the CPU. And if you don't, it kind of feels like, why not? Like, I think that's what's holding Switch back right now is that, not so much the graphics chip. Because we've seen the Switch can run 1080p graphics. It's the processing power and the memory that holds it back. That's the load times. That's the pop in. It's just like our current stuff now. Like, it's mobile, but it's the same problem. They need to free up. They need to open up the pipe, free up that from storage, and let people, start making those games. If they could do that, I think the Switch could run 1080p as is, actually, with the chip it has. Even if they overclocked it. That's the other thing. The Tegra X1 that Switch has is underclocked. It's an underclocked version of that chip. You could overclock it, and they have. I'm not sure if you remember, but a couple years ago, they released to certain, not certain, but certain devs could push the chip clock up. You could spin a little faster, and you could load in a little faster and stuff like that. But they chose to do it at certain times so it wouldn't kill the battery.
Right.
That's
that
the other
fan
thing.
is still going hot.
That's the other thing. You put an X2 in, you upgrade the screen. Now you're running more heat. The battery life is less, especially if you upgrade. If you do anything to the screen, then the battery life takes a hit. So I'm not saying it can't happen, and I'm with you. I would love to see it. Right? I would love to see a beautiful, portable, all-inclusive device that does all these things. I just don't understand how they do that and sell it at a Nintendo acceptable price range. That's where I'm concerned with it.
I could get behind that, yeah. What do you think, Dev?
I want to see what they do. I want to see where they go. I think it's definitely tough in that mobile space because things are so expensive, and with the upgrades that it needs, like, you're looking at just totally different development. Like Donnie said, like, you end up having games that are only going to be able to run on this particular system. And so are we ready for, like, truly to cut ties and get to the next generation of Switch?
If they launch it with Breath of the Wild 2, everybody will be there.
This is true. I think for Nintendo, it literally just comes down to, like, if you get them a good launch title that only is on this system, the Nintendo faithful are going to go.
Yep.
And if it's back compatible and can still play all your old Switch titles, then you've kept those customers, because it's like, okay, I'm not getting completely left behind. I can get the new Switch, I can get the new Breath of the Wild. And you mean this Breath of the Wild is actually going to run better?
Yep.
It's actually going to have maybe a more populated world? Oh, I'm all for it. Oh, and you're gonna give me a new Mario game too, and Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding about the Metroid. Nobody cares about Metroid, which makes me sad.
There's like 10,000 people.
I know, it's ridiculous.
You're
But
not wrong.
I do think that Nintendo has so much goodwill, and the Switch did so well, that if you play your cards right and you make sure that there is actually a title or a couple of titles that come with a new generation of Switch, the people will be there for it. Nintendo shows time and time again, like their fan base, they just go with Nintendo. They'll get the new stuff.
One thing I didn't get into in chat, because we really dove into all the different options that I thought were possible, but one thing I didn't mention was, let's say Breath of the Wild isn't next year like everybody has been expecting it to be, and let's say we go all of next year, 2021, with other games that Nintendo has, and then 2022 they launch this console and it's Breath of the Wild and Switch 2. That sounds fine. Like, that sounds right. That's 5 years for Switch. It's a little light compared to 3DS, but I don't think you can have a whole lot of, anger at an upgrade 5 years down the line. Like, it's a shorter console cycle, but it is a console cycle. 5 years, especially in a mobile space, like, they've really bled the Switch out of everything they can. They are making a killing off of this. This is 2017 tech that they are selling millions of units of. So they are making a murder load of money off of the current Switch. So I was thinking, if they're telling devs now to be 4K ready, I just can't imagine that this is a console that launches in 2022. Like, if they're telling them to be ready now, if that's true, then I expect them to launch this next year.
Yeah.
I don't see how not.
It makes sense, and I mean, you get that. I think it's perfect for next year, because you've gotten out of the way of Sony, Xbox. They've done their thing,
sure.
And then it comes back around. People are already kind of like, okay, I got these new things. I'm kind of ready for something new, especially for the Nintendo side. It gives Nintendo all that time. That focus is all on Nintendo. It's like, okay, now it's time to get your Nintendo system. We've got
crazy
new
though,
thing. We've got 4K. All this. Yeah,
I don't think Switch customers are ready for a new generation.
I don't think so either.
No.
I think the DS really changed the idea of how long you hold on to a Nintendo console and how long games are developed for said system. Yep. I think that completely changed the game for them. Like, people are still rocking with that system. So
over here,
I think it's definitely different, and they may not be ready for a new one, but I still feel like if they do it right, the people will be fine with it, and they will go ahead.
If it launches Breath of the Wild 2, then nobody's gonna.
They're done.
Yeah. Nintendo's made that decision for you, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth.
You may not be ready for it, but you're gonna buy it anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to keep like the tech part of me like in line, and also like what I know from Nintendo. But like, I can't imagine them disrupting this money cart. Like, it's been an absolute steal, and they can't keep units on shelves. They've been in and out of stock all year long. And every day Wario's like, they got Switches, they're gone. It's like every day. They can't keep
March.
Units. Like, think of the amount of people that bought Switches this year. And then next year they launch a new console. Like, that sounds
weird.
It sounds like that can't be possible. Like, that doesn't make any business sense. So that's why I keep going to then it's got to be a Pro. So how do you do that?
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be something. It can't be a new Switch. So I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Shield TV is the same chip. And it can do 4K, and it's the same chip as the Switch has. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Oof. I don't know, man. I don't know. Nintendo. Nintendo's good at Nintendo. It's what they do. So we shall see.
I can't wait for them to be like the Switch TV, and all the headlines are like, Nintendo's made a Switch that can't switch. That's going to happen.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yikes. Either way, it'll do good. It'll sell. Who cares? Nintendo go Nintendo. Breath of the Wild 2 on that will be good. All right. So, gentlemen, the real discussion. TVs again. We had a discussion about TVs a while back, like on one of the first episodes of Game Tech, about, should you get a new television for these new consoles? Donnie has.
Mm-hmm.
We really are seeing the realization that these systems are going to do 120 frames per second. At least the Xbox. I don't know what the PS5 is going to do.
That's
Hopefully
a reality.
we'll find out next week. It's a reality.
It's not. It's not a Dirt 5 does it, but nobody else does. For 6 months, I've been like, yeah, Dirt 5's doing it, but they're gonna lower everything down to 1080 to do it. And that was where my mindset was.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just old school gaming, right? I was like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna really do 120. That's crazy. No, they are.
Yeah. It's a reality.
Ubisoft's games are actually going to run at 60
for the first time.
Yeah.
That's how powerful these new consoles are. Ubisoft can get 60 frames now. Wow.
It may be pushing the hardware, but it's getting there.
You're actually going to get an Assassin's Creed game that runs at a stable frame rate without the face falling off. It's insane. So the reality is that the consoles are actually going to be doing what they say they're going to do. You're going to get 120 frames. You're going to get Dolby Vision from the Xboxes. You're going to get HDR10, possibly HDR10 Plus from the PS5. And you're really going to want to utilize HDMI 2.1 if you really want to see anything higher than 60 with full HDR in full 4K. A lot of people have not made the jump to 4K TVs. And if they've made the jump to 4K TVs, they've got a lower end 4K TV that may not have great HDR. It's probably only going to be native 60. And if you're getting one of these new consoles and the display is going to be the thing where you're playing everything on, you're going to want to be able to take advantage of that. I think that the Series S also kind of throws a monkey wrench into that because most TVs can do 1440p at 60 without a problem with HDR. And if you have the Motion Plus nonsense, it'll be able to probably push it at 120. But if you really want to get the full just gorgeousness of what these consoles can do, then you're definitely going to want to invest in a new display. I think that after seeing that Dolby Vision little reel, the fact that you're getting true 120 frames, the idea of getting a new TV is it's imperative. I think it is something that you should do, especially if you're somebody who only has a 1080p display. This is the perfect time to jump into a 4K TV. True, it'll be a little bit more expensive, but as you've seen from Donnie, you can get a really, really great next gen ready TV for, what did you pay? How much was it? $500 for your 49 inch?
It was and then $599 for 49 inch TV that does all the bells and whistles.
Yep. $850 for a 55 inch,
yep.
A little over $1,000 for a 65 inch. And to be perfectly honest, if you want a good TV, a good 4K TV, the $800 to $1,200 range is like the sweet spot. Mm-hmm. That is the spot where you want to actually spend it. You'll be able to get a TV that does all the good stuff. It may not be the Magnolia, super ridiculous high-end $2,000 Sony TV, but you're going to get a TV that's going to be able to have HDMI 2.1, possibly more than one HDMI 2.1 port if you're going to get both consoles. Mm-hmm. You'll be able to get a native 120 hertz screen, which you need. You don't want to have a 60 that has the Motion Plus or whatever to 120. You want to get something that natively does 120. We'll have the VRR for your variable refresh rates. We'll be able to have a low latency game mode. And we'll have HDR at least 10. Most TVs, as long as you don't buy a Samsung, will also have Dolby Vision. Samsung has been the only TV that doesn't have Dolby Vision. They do the HDR 10 Plus. It's like their own version of it. Mm-hmm. But you won't get a Dolby Vision if you go with the Samsung. They happen to be the only brand right now that doesn't have Dolby Vision baked into their TVs as well as HDR. But for that price point, you'll be able to get a screen that'll take full advantage of your console. And I mean, I hear a lot of people saying, like, oh, I just bought a TV. My TV is great. It's fine. But I mean, if you're making the investment into this console, and the TV is going to be the thing that you're playing it on all the time, make
That's
the
the
investment into
bottleneck,
the
yeah.
TV. Like and the thing is, the TV is going to make all of your entertainment better, not just your gaming. You're going to get just better television experience, period. And with the fact that everybody is streaming everything through Disney Plus, and Disney Plus does 4K, it does HDR. You're going to be able to see all your Disney stuff better. You're going to see Netflix better. If you're watching Stranger Things or whatever the newest Netflix exclusive is or whatnot, most of that stuff is in 4K and HDR. And this is going to give you a better experience with that as well. Be Donnie. Eat the hype. Buy a new TV.
I think it might be hard, especially for folks that are adopting new consoles, to do both. And I think the price is a little high for a lot of folks to do both right now. But I think a year from now, like this time next year, going into that Black Friday, I think more of you might be able to get my model TV next year for $500 or less out the door. So and I think once you can get into that realm, I think a lot of people might consider an upgrade. But I agree with you. I was one of those people. I had a 4K TV. It did 60. I got it for very cheap. I actually had 3 of them, and I was like, I'm going to stay with these. Like, these look great. They're big. They're fine. And they are. Like, and I want to say that they are fine. But the question is, do you want fine? Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to buy an Xbox Series X if you're okay with fine, because that's not what the Series X is. It's better than fine. And it is a premium console. It pushes a better experience than fine. Now the Series S, sure, and if you're just a casual gamer, then I would never suggest anybody upgrade if they're just they just play games on occasion. Like, that's fine, play on whatever TV you've got. But if you're buying a Series X at launch, if you are listening to this show and you're into game tech and you're like, I actually think a TV upgrade or a display upgrade is going to be more. I think it's going to be necessary, actually. I don't think I've seen the light, so I don't think I don't think people may have realized exactly how much your current displays might be holding back that next gen experience, because they kind of are.
Yeah, for me, I think you're right, Donnie. I think I need to hold off probably till next year. It's just these high price ranges, and maybe I'll get a Series X this year. We'll see. But yeah, I agree with you guys. This advertisement of the new TVs, these TVs are going to take full advantage of it. I don't know. I'm still on the fence just because financially it's not going to be the right call right now.
It's a big ask. Yeah. I understand that.
So
yeah, I definitely understand not buying it right now. I think also a good time would be around Super Bowl next year. You get a lot of discounts on TVs there because they're trying to move inventory. They're about to get new inventory in. So around Super Bowl is also a really great time to buy a TV. But I do think at some point, if you have a next gen console, it's almost imperative that you get a TV that actually can take advantage of what you purchased.
Yeah.
They're doing so many good things with the televisions. Like, they go hand in hand. It's what you play on all the time. And if you really want to take advantage of your investment in the next gen, like the display is it's something you got to do. Maybe not right now, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but definitely.
I'm waiting on, I don't know if you would find the model, I'm waiting on a TV that does Steam Link as well.
Oh yeah.
Is that Android TVs only? Or what's the deal with that?
You can do Steam Link with, let's say, you just buy the Steam Link. It's an adapter and it just plugs in HDMI. So I haven't seen any native TVs.
That one's discontinued, right? Like, you cannot buy that product anymore.
I have no idea.
The Steam Link stick. Now, when I was talking to Rob Emmanuel, he has a TV that you download the app, the Steam Link app, and it's an Android TV, and you can have that kind of connected with your PC.
No, I'm looking at it. Install the app, pair the controller, connect to your computer.
Yeah, so I'll be waiting for that.
That's insane.
Give me an HDMI 2.1 with the Steam Link, and boom, I'm golden.
Yeah,
monitors might be another way to go. I know a lot of people more people probably play in their TV like me, but monitors also might be an avenue for people to look at, especially if you're like trying to maximize the most out of like the Series S. You can get a 1440p monitor. You might be able to get something. I know monitors are really expensive though, But like my monitor is 1440p, and it's not, it wasn't like expensive for a monitor. It was like $300, and it's ultra wide, and so I can put 100 hertz. So that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal at all. And then Dev has that Eve Spectrum. He's got the monitor made, and that's a monitor made for console too. It has all the bells and whistles you need.
Absolutely. The only thing that'll be missing is the Dolby Vision. That's something you're only going to be able to get in a TV until they bring it to PC. If they bring it to PC,
I doubt they would.
Yeah, I don't see that coming. But it has HDR 600, which is nice. It is actually HDR certified, so it'll look good. So
I don't like to be snobby with people, but when Dolby Vision gets enabled on games, I'm going to be the snobby person. It's like, you guys have got to do this.
I 100% agree, and that's why 2021 is also a great time to buy a new TV, because that is when we're going to see most of the Dolby Vision games actually happen. It's not coming this year; it's coming next year. So next year is a great time to buy a TV, especially if we start seeing.
Vision. I want to play Halo with Dolby Vision, like
Dolby Vision, all the things. It's insane.
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, just reiterate it one more time. It wasn't the 120. It was the Dolby Vision that I was like, now I have to do it. I can't not play. You know what I wanted when I saw that? I was like, man, like what I would give for like another Midnight Club, like an awesome Midnight Club.
Need for Speed Underground.
Yeah, it's just like, this is just like the next Forza with Dolby Vision is gonna be insane.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, like, Gears 5 on your TV looked incredible. Like, really just the
damn
blues
golf
and the
game
greens.
looked amazing.
The golf, dude. What got me with the golf game was the shadows. The black detail in the shadows against the green of the grass was absolutely incredible. And to think that it's gonna get better than that, like that's just entry level. It was absolutely mind blowing. If you guys have not seen what it looks like, please come to the Discord, go in the Xbox chat, scroll up and look at the screenshots that Donnie posted from of his TV. It is just like night and day. And that is just the beginning.
Kingdoms of Amalur last night, and it was like,
oh, me too.
It was.
I meant to ask you about that.
It's too dark.
It is a little dark.
Like, I can't see.
I put my brightness all the way up on that game.
Like, it's so dark, I really can't see. I'm like, do I get a flashlight or something in this game? Like, I need some help.
Yeah, and you got to remember, like, that is a game from 2012, so I can definitely see where that would have some issues. But if you get it looking right, I feel like that game is super vibrant and colorful enough to really make that TV pop as well.
Dude, Gears 5 looked
ridiculous.
I'm going to replay it. I've said it this whole time. I'm going to totally replay Gears 5 when Series X comes. People are like, oh, you're going to buy Series X, play old game? Damn right I am, because the Gears 5 is going to be like a whole new damn game.
Right.
It's going to be a completely different game.
It's going to look good.
Is it a run 120? Oh, that's going to be insane.
I mean, you think that it's buttery smooth now. Oh, my God.
It felt like it was in fast motion.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing like particle effects, like shimmering, like the water on the ground, and like little like particle like air effects and stuff that I don't think I remembered seeing before.
Oh, yeah. God, that TV. I makes me want. I'm telling you, I want to put one right up here, above all my things, and just
live the life.
Live the life. You know what I'm saying? Eat the hype. Be Donnie.
Eat the hype. The eater of hype. All of it. It got me. It got me. I just gave into impulse.
And I went right along for the ride. Let's go. Let's do this.
That's the thing. I tweeted. I was like, I can't believe this is where I am. Like, if you Sunday night, I was like, all right, I'm getting the Series X. I'm not getting a Series S, and I'm not upgrading my TV. Like 3 days later, I was like, I need a new TV, and I'm probably getting both.
Yeah.
Money's just gone.
I mean, that's the funny thing, because Johnny's like, all right, what can I sell? What can we get out of here?
I'm selling all kinds of
How can we
stuff,
flip
man.
everything, make this a profit? So it's like, it's not even a money thing. It's like, I'm going to get half this back anyway.
Yeah,
so
it really is.
Let's go ahead.
I didn't spend all of that out of pocket like
right
away. No, I've got money saved for the X. I sold my NES controllers for like $100. Like, so I got those gone. I sold my old TV. That's gone. So this is actually kind of all kit and caboodle. It's going to be like a $200 upgrade for me, I think, by the time I'm done with it.
Not bad at all.
Totally worth it.
Again, be like Danny. Real simple. Like, just make the deals, make it happen, strike while the iron is hot, and you too can live the life that Downey has with all of the wonderful things and enjoy all your toys. All right, so that'll do it for our discussions. We have a couple of questions that I think are pertinent and will be fun. Grouchy over the Discord, he ponders. He says, "How do you feel Sony's going to react to the price announcements from Microsoft? Do you think Sony will attempt to match, or is the diskless system going to be $100 less than the Series S as speculation?" And then he also has a follow-up: peas or carrots? I'm a carrots guy.
Peas.
I'm a carrots guy. I like the carrots. If you cook
carrots first,
Oh.
yeah, peas in the fried rice though. Peas in the fried rice. You can put peas and carrots, but I prefer peas. But I'm definitely a carrot guy by itself. Because peas by itself is nasty. What are you talking about? Peas by itself is just bitter.
I don't think Sony's going to react to the announcements from Microsoft at all, to be quite honest with you. I think this is like fandom, and this is Twitter and console wars, and like we do it like on podcasts where we'll tease each other, but it's not like Twitter. Like people on Twitter, I think take these things a real too far. You know, it's like two sports teams battling each other. Like it's got weird fans going. It is a little weird. This is something that those arguments bring up. Sony's not thinking about Xbox. At all. They're like, wait a minute, how many Xboxes do you sell? Okay.
Cool.
We've sold 100 million PlayStation 4s. Okay. So now that's not to say that they don't care about what their competitors are doing price wise. They are. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing that people need to remember. The Xbox Series S was not a surprise.
No,
we've known about it all year long. So
Digital Foundry saw it in March and had to hold on to that.
And
they had a whole video about it in March.
PlayStation knew that they were going to do this. They didn't know exactly how much it was cost, but they knew that they were speccing a model of their console with a much lower GPU target.
Mm-hmm.
If they wanted to react and have something ready for that, they would. The reason they don't is because they don't. Like, I don't think $299 shocked them. They're building these consoles. They probably said, if we wanted to lower our output to 1440, how much would it cost us? And they were like, yeah, $299. Like, they knew. That wasn't shocking news. It's not like they were like, oh my God, we've got to redo our whole mission. No, that's not happening at all. They made their system. They've made their system the PlayStation 5, and they have two models, one with a disc and one without the disc drive.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was $449 and $499, and it was just
that could be totally reasonable.
Just the price. Like, here's the price. This one just doesn't have the disc. That's all it is. Yeah. Now with the $299 price Xbox, with that being official, do they consider lowering that to $399 just to be in the ballpark? Maybe, but again, PlayStation isn't acting like Xbox. PlayStation is acting like Nintendo. Like PlayStation, you've got to remember the company. Like, these companies have like cultures that you can almost predict. And until they have a change in leadership that shakes up the way they do things, PlayStation's going to PlayStation, just like Nintendo's going to Nintendo. PlayStation is going to come out. They're going to tell you that their box is the best box. It's a premium device. It does all the amazing things. You can blow on the controller. And they're going to show you Dark Souls. And they're going to show you Horizon. And they're going to show you all the reasons why you buy PlayStation. They're going to have a whole roll of all the first-party games. We have Spider-Man that you can only do here, and they're going to say that's worth you paying for our box. Now, whether you think that's better or worse than another person's price, that's a personal thing. I don't think the company is going to care about that. That's up to you. But they think their box is worth whatever it is they're going to charge, and I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah, it's so funny. We talked about that on XP last night, and I pretty much said the exact same thing. I was like, the PlayStation is going to PlayStation. They're going to keep all their cards to the chest. They're not going to say anything. They're going to have that Japanese discipline of just like, we're not going to be loud and brash. We're going to just sit here and we're going to tell you what we have and why our thing is what it is. I don't think they ever had any plans to make a 1440p thing. I feel like this has always been their plan. And this is no reason for them to change what they're going to do. I think that $399 is going to be the price for the discless version. Mm-hmm. It's going to be $100 more than the S, but they're also going to be able to play up. Hey, it's more powerful.
It does
It does
4K.
4K.
Yeah.
It does full 4K natively. You don't have to upscale. It's going to do the 120 frames or 60 frames or whatever. It has the SSD. They're going to be able to play that. So it's like, yeah, you want a premium experience?
I don't even think they're going
That's
to
what
play that
PlayStation
though,
is.
because that's not really PlayStation.
They're not. They probably
they're not going to
won't,
sit there and
but-
talk about all the things that their box can do because they're not really into spec. They're going to say, yeah, here's our box that plays Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's their play.
They've already done their spec talk with Mark Cerny.
Yeah.
They've already done all the architecture talk.
And when-
they're done with it.
When they did the PlayStation 4, they did the same thing, right? They came
Exact
out, they
same
had
thing.
their briefing, here's what the box does, and then after that, they never did it again. They're
Yep.
not, yeah, they don't do that. Like I don't think their market wants that from them. Again, they are a games like powerhouse. That's what they do. They have games.
Yep.
And you could tell, like, with these exclusives that's happening, and also these third-party partnerships
Yep.
that they're just throwing out there. We've seen the articles. They are ready for the PS5 to have that audience transfer over, and it's just because the Sony ecosystem is better because of the games and the extra perks. And that's a great get, and that's totally the way to go.
And you don't sell that at a loss.
Yeah,
That's a
Right.
premium experience that you sell for a premium price. Game Pass is something you sell consoles at a loss for because you are signing people up long term. You don't sell Spider-Man and Demon Souls and everything else at a loss. No. That's a premium experience. You're going to make sure people know that. So, yeah, it's just two different strategies. They're completely different,
absolutely. I agree. They're all playing different games at this point.
actually. Yep.
And
Completely.
they all have their own compelling reasons why you should get their systems. And it's just about, where do you want to play?
Demon Souls exclusively with Spider-Man. Silent Hill, only playable Spider-Man. Exclusive. That's my new joke now is I'm just going to start putting Spider-Man in everything. That Madden,
Miles Morales.
playable Spider-Man in Madden, only on PlayStation. Just
So it's basically Spider-Man is their version of Sam Fisher.
Just slinging everywhere.
yeah, I mean, like I really want to lean into the Avengers thing now and just put Spider-Man in everything that comes to PlayStation, exclusively playable Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man and The Last of Us 3.
I could totally see it, like Madden, like you play as this entire team that's outfitted to be like Spider-Man.
My gosh.
Awful. Our next question comes from Rob3000 over on the Discord. He says, with all the exciting next-gen changes happening in tech, consoles, graphics cards, TVs, monitors, etc., what are the pros and cons of upgrading immediately versus waiting, and what would you prioritize?
Before we answer, how bad is it like in this world that I looked at the notes and I saw asks and I read masks? Like that's just like where my head was at
What a time.
Rob, this is a really good question. I mean, it's terrible for me to answer because this is why we do what we do. The reason that you get into the game to do podcasting and sharing your thoughts and doing videos and stuff like that is you want to be on the forefront of stuff. So I always argue that because people, I'm very impulsive. I'll buy a new TV, I'll buy a new console, I'll sell stuff to be there. And oftentimes people are like, oh, you don't have to do that. You can wait. And it's like, well, but you can't if you're going to do what we do. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
I just don't know how exciting it is for people to hear that. They don't want to hear you say that. Like they listen to us for a reason. So the 100% easiest way to answer this is, if you're doing any sort of content creation or something, like you can't wait. You want to be there. You want to be a part of the conversation. You want to be able to give your thoughts on the console. You want to have hands-on experience. Let me tell you about what my day one was like with the console, because that's some of the stuff that people don't understand about like these consoles is like letting people know, like, can you plug your hard drive into a PlayStation 5 and it just work? Does it have to reformat? Do you have to plug in an Ethernet connection and transfer one from the other? Like, nobody knows. Like, we think we know, but nobody knows. And I can tell you right now, doesn't work like the way PlayStation 4. It's kind of a mess.
Nope.
If you want to transfer a system, it is a pain in the butt. So, like, having just feedback on all of that stuff, I definitely want to be there for that almost alone. But if you're not into like podcasting, if you don't have a podcast or you're not into YouTube or streaming or anything like that, waiting is always advised because you're just gonna like make so much more off of your investment if you can wait out. Because there's no incentive for them to cut us any deal going in. That's the craziest thing about Xbox. So they have Game Pass and everything, and it's such a cheap price to come in. It's like, man, they're making it again. They're making a case for why not to have an Xbox. This is like, even if you don't even like Xbox, it's like Game Pass is probably still good enough for you just to get it.
Dude, they're selling gateway computers at Walmart, and there's a Game Pass logo on the box.
Yep.
Like,
It's everywhere, man.
But if you can wait out a year or 2 years, like I probably am with PlayStation 5, at some point I'll get a PlayStation 5. I'm holding out to be honest with you, I'm holding out for a redesign. Like, I really don't like the design.
Me too.
So I'm holding out for a redesign, but I'll probably get one, but I will wait until they have 10 exclusives that I don't have, instead of one. Like, because if I bought it now, I'd buy it and I'd play Ratchet, and then I wouldn't play it for the rest of the year.
You'd end up trying to sell it.
Probably. So it's like
Day 3.
I'm trying to hold out on that, So it's like, let's just wait. Let's wait for them to give me a model that I actually want at a price that I actually want when they have enough exclusives to actually warrant the investment. I'm just trying to be smart with it, because this gen I had all 3 consoles. My PlayStation just sat there for years until one game came out or 2 games came out that I played. So I'm trying to stay away from that. So I would always recommend people hold out as much as you can, because you'll get a deal, you'll get a pack in, you'll get a bonus, you'll get a price cut. All of that stuff will come later.
Yeah. I would mostly agree. Now that I understand, I'm understanding the rhythm of selling stuff now and flipping them. You have to time that pretty much right? You can't wait too long before your current products are too obsolete and they're not going to be as high of a price. So that's why I'm jumping on selling that 1X and getting possibly the Series X or saving up. Yeah, Rob, that's $1 million question for me. It's every day I think of, should I buy something or should I wait? For me, it's my lifestyle. It's my personal lifestyle right now. It's not the greatest in terms of saving money, so I have to wait. It's just no ifs, ands, or buts. It's like, I cannot get the latest thing just because I need it right in front of me. I gotta wait. So always think about finances first. Right, we're like, resting pretty easily now because we're buying all the latest tech stuff. But if you are out there and struggling with your finances, you always have a reason to wait, because we have backlogs of games, guys.
If you're thinking about getting all the consoles too, if you want to have all of them, remember that we're probably in store for more mid-cycle upgrades too.
Exactly.
Get one now, maybe wait until the pro version of the other thing comes out later. And do that like mid-gen refresh.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's real simple. I mean, the pros of just going immediately is that you have it. You get to be there. You get to be part of the conversation. You have it day one, and you get to, really enjoy that excitement of being there immediately. The cons of that is you're going to be spending a lot of money, and we all know that sometimes the first gen of things just don't work right. There's going to be bugs. There's going to be issues that are going to be ironed out when you have the refreshes, the second version of that thing. So the pros are always, just it builds your excitement. You're excited for it. You get it day one. The con is that you're going to end up spending money, that things are going to go on sale and be cheaper if you can wait. And a lot of times you'll have a second version of that thing that will iron out bugs and kinks that they find in the launch version of said item. Also,
the pipeline, games are going to take a little bit to get going. I know definitely on the Xbox side. Now, I heard somebody after the PlayStation Showcase happened that every game that was shown in that first PlayStation Showcase will be out in the first year of PlayStation. I don't believe that at all.
Horizon, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Horizon, they said 2021, and I believe that. I believe that game has been sitting in development for a while.
So I just think everything that we've seen... We see delays all the time. I wasn't like a stone throw at PlayStation. It's like most everything gets delayed. That's just the reality of games. Most everything gets delayed.
I mean, there was a game
before
from
COVID.
Square Enix, Athia, it was just a working title. I don't see that coming out in 2021. Returnal, I don't see that coming out in 2021. Some of those games just work. Still, they were in and
we already saw several of the ones they showed have already been delayed to 2021 already, and they were supposed to be 2020. So I would expect delays, especially as a new gen goes. Expect delays. There are cross gen titles that'll probably get delayed to just be next gen titles. They want to take advantage of more resources. We already are in COVID. We really don't know what those things are doing for these announcements. So you expect maybe some things to be delayed for those reasons. And then some things just get delayed because they want to retool something, or it doesn't come together at the end, or they find a bug and they've got to redo it. Like, things just get delayed. If you don't know, like look at Last of Us, look at Ghost, like things just get delayed. Last of Us was being worked on for 7 years and it got delayed. It got delayed a week after they announced it. So like, just things get delayed. That's another reason to wait. Because if you wait for more things to come out, you'll have more things to play. Because typically when you buy something new, even for all the third parties and stuff, like, you may find some time that you're waiting for new things to come out. You play some old stuff. So
absolutely,
you're not going to have like a new game every month. It's going to take a bit.
You got Game Pass.
Oh, of course.
Game Pass for PC. You should see my backlog. Oh my gosh. It's
between Game Pass and Steam sales, I feel like you're just drowning in games.
Yeah, literally.
We are for sure.
Yeah, and as far as what I would prioritize, the display. That's the thing that I would say I would prioritize. That would be like your first upgrade, in my opinion, because it's the thing that it's the thing that you're playing on. So why not make that the first priority? All the other things like headsets or more RAM for your PC or something like that, I feel like that takes a backseat to upgrading the thing that you're actually playing it on first. So.
Gotcha.
Our last and final question before we get out of here comes from BMox. He says he would like to know if we have Microsoft to thank for the PC renaissance that we're seeing.
No, I don't think so.
No,
because most of the PC folks that I interact with, they give me crap about Game Pass, like Dev.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the reason why. I think Nvidia is the reason why, if anything. Nvidia and Steam and maybe Epic. Give Epic some credit.
Also AMD, because their CPUs are incredible.
Yeah,
what they're doing in the CPU space with
what
you're
standard.
Getting. Yeah, if you're not running an AMD Ryzen, then what are you doing?
I know PC gaming is like the mass. That's like the biggest population of people that invest in games, but I think it's become kind of like trendy to build PCs. I think I've seen like a crushing rise in that. Like, just in my YouTube subscriptions from memory, when I go through videos and watching stuff, I can't tell you how many creators and stuff I follow that have like little PC build videos, and they're showing off what lights they put in their thing and what they did. And so it's become like, I think, like a thing to start building PCs, like maybe more of an enthusiastic thing than it used to be.
A lot of it is content creators. You have so many people that are now YouTubers, and to do that and do it well, you got to have a PC. I mean,
it helps.
So you have a lot of people that are building PCs to be able to, up their stream quality, up their content quality, and everybody's at home.
Yeah,
that's true.
So you have the time to build a PC. You have the time to learn how to create and build an actual rig. So I think that is probably the biggest reason we're seeing the renaissance is people
the
are at home.
customization and style that you can put into them. It's not the same thing as a console. My console is going to look just like your console. I can't do a video and show off my console. It's just a console where everybody that builds a PC can like film themselves doing it and like showing you like, I chose to do this and here's how I did the light and here's how I got a custom case. And,
here's all the RGBs.
Yeah.
Yep. Make your Henry Cavill video.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's a beautiful video. It's beautiful.
So yeah, it definitely ain't Microsoft. It's all the other people that make the components.
The point that I always bring up is Microsoft going to benefit from this? Absolutely.
Oh, of course.
Like the RTX, anytime any of this PC stuff gets going, it's like, that's just another potential Game Pass subscriber out there for Microsoft.
Yep.
Microsoft, they can't build Steam. Like, Steam's already a thing. They probably should have done Steam before Steam was a thing. But since they can't build Steam, they need to build like their own equivalent of it. And they have with Game Pass.
Yep.
I
think they're getting there for sure.
It's insane. Like, it just continues to be like a crazy value. And I know they just raised the price on PC, and I was even letting Jace know last night, like I found him a deal that he can extend out for $5 a month for like up to 3 years if you want to. And it's like, why would you not? You're just
do it now.
Getting extra games. Yeah. Like, you have to. And I think that's an interesting thing in the PC space, because like when Epic launched their launcher, like all Steam folks were mad. And we've seen that when Microsoft released Halo, the Master Chief Collection, people are buying it on Steam. Like Wasteland 3 shot to the top. Microsoft Flights shot to the top. They are making a killing by releasing their games on Steam. And I think that play is going to push PlayStation to release more of their games on Steam because they're losing money. They're just losing money by not putting it there. It's basically just extra money for Xbox. And the long-term point that I often make with Xbox is because Xbox has done Game Pass, because they've published their games to PC, people are like, why do I need an Xbox? But that's enabling, that extra revenue is enabling Xbox to invest into Game Pass and to keep doing it. Like they are that revenue, they don't care if you buy a box. And that proves it. They really don't. If they can get you to do Game Pass, if they can get you to buy their games, like they're still making so much money that helps them. So
I'll give Microsoft this. The RTS, the real-time strategy game of folks that want to get back into that space, and they just lost it with Steam. They're trying to reel it back in with Game Pass for PC. And Age of Empires, they brought back their old games with definitive editions. They're bringing in Ubisoft, and maybe not Ubisoft, but other Paradox Interactive real-time strategy games and turn-based. So they're trying to get the PC folk and audience kind of reeling in back into the Microsoft ecosystem. So I applaud Microsoft for that, trying to get a cut of the pie of the PC only space.
They're adding all the EA games to Game Pass.
That too. So is that Origin client or is that Game Pass?
They're going to be in Game Pass. You don't need the Origin client. You can just play them on Game Pass.
Okay.
We assume.
Well, yeah, I don't assume. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be, but I don't assume.
I assume that they will because, for example, there are games that are in like the Epic launcher, but they require the other launchers to actually run the game.
But
when you
get
Xbox,
GTA, they want you to stream it, and that was a big part of their thing. And the only way they can stream it is if they're actually natively a part of the app. So I expect them to play in Game Pass because I don't think Xbox would do the deal otherwise. That's the whole point of Xbox doing the deal. They want you to play in Game Pass.
I see that on console.
I can see it on console, yeah.
I don't think they're going to do something different.
I think on PC it'll be a little bit different just because the way the launchers work. It's a whole rigmarole.
Again, because of the xCloud, it has to be played from the Game Pass app.
We'll see. You
so
say
the game
that
has to be launched from the Game Pass app.
It does. I don't think so. Only because Nvidia, like their GeForce Now, you don't have to have that thing. It launches all the launchers within that thing.
But okay, I'll just believe until proven otherwise. I don't see why Xbox would do that if that was the case. I think that kind of one of the parts of getting EA into Game Pass is to expose people to Game Pass. You're not doing that,
right? So you can launch it from there, but then it also launches the other launcher to run the game. So it can still be in Game Pass.
We'll see. I don't think so.
That'll work.
I don't think
but it just brings up everything else. I think
the app is with Epic and Steam with Ubisoft. You need Uplay, and EA, right? You need Origin client to launch them.
Yep.
That's stupid. Origin.
It's another reason why this is why I hate PCs.
It's so funny. Everybody hates all the launches. Like it doesn't bother me at all. I double click the icon and it runs. Like you click the icon and it goes.
No.
Period.
No, it's not always that smooth.
It is for me.
Division 2 was Division 2 was a mess because I got Division 2 on Epic and then I launched it and it wouldn't work, so I had to reinstall it. But then like the path that Uplay thought it wasn't the same path that Epic, and I ended up having like to delete everything and to reinstall the whole thing from Uplay and then launch it from Epic. And it was
you just made my case. You did it wrong.
Pain in the ass.
Uplay is messed up.
Uplay is pretty dumb. It's dumb. Uplay is a pain.
Yeah,
like Sean Capri said in the chat, that's what I do. Double click the icon.
Oh. It's not clean. I hate that. That is absolutely a case why I would have for console. So that's why I believe it to be the case. But you might be right. Maybe they just do the same thing that everybody else does on PC alone. But
you just need the GOG Galaxy launcher.
Is there any other game that launches a launcher from Game Pass? I don't know of any other game that does, but I haven't clicked on them all.
No, it does not. But Fallout 76, my PC accounts share with Steam. So there's some connectivity, interactivity going on there. It doesn't launch Steam Launcher, but the PC, the Microsoft Windows accounts or whatever, they're shared between the Bethesda, Steam, and
Oh
the
yeah,
Game
no,
Pass.
the accounts tie together, but I don't think there's any precedence for a Game Pass game launching another launcher for you to play in.
And I don't think there's other major Game Pass PC game I'm thinking of that has an exclusive launcher like Rockstar or
Right.
Yeah.
Ubisoft or anything like that. So
Like I
Yeah.
never heard that when like Assassin's Creed has come through or anything else. Like Red Dead. Wasn't Red
they
Dead on
didn't
Game
come back to Game Pass. They never came to Game Pass for PC.
Right.
Red Dead did?
It's console only.
Console didn't come to
Okay.
PC.
All right.
Pretty much all of those big third party games like that, they all were only console. They weren't on PC. All right, well, that does it for episode 5 of PSVG Game Tech. We hope that you enjoyed it. We're back, baby, as they say. So yeah, we're here. We're gonna be here. We will have more episodes. There's plenty of Game Tech happening, especially this fall. So rock with us. We're gonna be around for a while. I'd like to give a shout out to our patrons at the producer level over there on Patreon.com. What is it? PSVG.com/Patreon. I don't know what the link is. You can have Connie.
Patreon.com/PSVG.
There you go. So yeah, we'd like to give a shout out to our producers: Edwin Callow, Barry Cathcart, Josh the Bonesar Baboni, Chris McElfish, myself, Kyle Hyman, Paul Calico, Michael Masick, Nick Fall Harbor, Rob Emanuel, and Rude Days 93. Without you guys, none of this shenanigans would be possible. Please feel free to follow us over on Game Tech Pod on Twitter. Donnie tweets from there from time to time. We have an account.
You
We're
guys
there.
should tweet from there from time to time and help out.
I need to log in. I don't have to log in.
Mhm.
So yeah, give me that and I will. And yeah, just tune into all the things PSVG. We're always doing something. We have emergency broadcasts whenever Donnie feels the need because there's some Xbox noise. We'll have an emergency broadcast after the PlayStation announcement. If the Switch 2 gets announced, I'm sure there'll be an emergency shack.
Be 4
Yeah.
hours of Shaq.
Glorious.
They'll do a 2-minute commercial. It'll be 4-hour Shaq podcast.
Yeah, so we have lots of content and we hope you guys enjoy it. And with that, may all your K's and P's be bright, your flames glorious, and your flops powerful. We're out.